never been a better time to put it all on the line. Ooh, yeah.
Welcome to see the final step 3. On this point, we are waiting that all the lane machines are out of the lanes and then they start to practice. Before that, we are silent, and on the practice sign there is a sound going on, and commentary starts after practice.
And start warm up. 10 minutes.
much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planets alive, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, we keep going all night. Don't back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. The night is young, we're out and free. If you can, try to catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. They'll never see us 'cause we're moving the night. We're always ready if they put up a fight. Outrun, outclimb, we'll outshine. You will run and think it's worth it to try. So listen up, I'm calling your bluff, calling your bluff. Yeah, give it up, I think you've had enough. We're renegades. Yeah, we're renegades. Too much on the line, too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planets align, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, let's keep going all night. So listen up, I'm calling your bluff, calling your bluff. Yeah, give it up, think you've had enough, you've had enough. We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. Yeah, I'm moving at the speed of sound. I got both hands off the wheel. No, nothing's gonna slow me down. I keep on heading straight to the top. I'm gonna show you something real. No, nothing's gonna make me stop. I got breath in my lungs, my blood pumping strong. I gotta tell you what I feel inside. I feel so good. I got breath in my lungs, my blood pumping strong. I gotta tell you what I feel inside. I feel so good. So good to be alive. 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 I'm hitting harder than a hurricane. I got nothing left to fear. No, there isn't any other way. I got breath in my lungs, my blood pumping strong. I gotta tell you what I feel inside. I feel so good. I got breath in my lungs, my blood pumping strong. I gotta tell you what I feel inside. I feel so good. So good to be alive. 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 This is how it works now. When the gates of earth won't let you out. This is where you fall out. You weren't ready when heaven rained down in a storm cloud. Oh, don't let your feelings out. Every word you speak on the back page, dripping in a joke in a seascape. In your love shell, you weren't ready to meet the angels. When you fall, then it don't. When you care, then it won't. You weren't ready when heaven rained down. When you fall, should've cared. When you see saw through you. I saw the way you called it. Yeah, I saw the way you knew. And every time the world is wrong, we see it crystal clear. But we maintain the illusion that we all know why we're here.
Final step 3. This year's Ballmaster Open 2026 56th edition. And final step 3. Top 16 players remain. Earlier today we played step 2 and 32 players played 8 games from scratch, and those top 16 players advanced to this round robin phase where 8 players in each group are facing each other one time, so that means 7 matches. And since the pins are carried forward from step number 2, after those 8 games and these 7 matches, which is 15 games altogether, top 2 from each group will advance to those televised finals for top 4, which will start 5 p.m. later today.
Let's look the players.
And this is Group A. Thomas Käykö and Rami Mukkula on lane pair 1 and 2. On 3 and 4, Viktor Gundersen and defending champion Jarno Lahti. 5 and 6, Karsten Hansen and William Berggren. And on 7 and 8, Ben Robinson, Emmanuel Jons. And in Group B, Arttu Järvinen, Karo Hilokoski, 2-time champion Jesper Svensson, Linus Boström. On 17-18, Carl Eklund, Ulari Lees, and on 19 and 20, Santtu Tahvanainen and Markus Jans. And as usual, players get 30 pins bonus for winning their match, and if it happens to be a tie, then it's 15 apiece.
So that final step 2 was very high game scores.
Yeah, the first leader was Rami Mukkula, 1970 something, and the last one to get in was William Berggren, 1779. So 180 pin difference between first and 16th.
And let's see how this game started, because that final step 2, after 3 games, there was 3 player over 800.
Yeah, it was Ben Robinson, 810. Karsten Hansen, was it 802? And then somebody else was 803.
Yeah,
Can't remember who it was. Was it Ulari Les? No. Ulari didn't have 800. Well, it was somebody. I will remember it later. But Ben Robinson, Karsten Hansen, and Santtu Tahvanainen. No?
no.
No. Well, whatever. I remember it later. But what matters is, like I said, each player inside their groups will play one game match against each other. So that means, say, 7 matches, and after those 15 games, those top 2 players from each squad will meet each other. So that A squad winner will face B squad second, and A second will meet B squad's winner in those semifinals, which will be televised, like I said before, starting 5 p.m. And we do have 2 previous champions, Jarno Lahti and Jesper Svensson. In the previous step, they were also playing Mika Koivuniemi, Joona Siekkinen, and Parker Bond, but they dropped out. So only 2 players have a chance to become a multiple winner, although Jesper Svensson is already a multiple winner since he has won this tournament twice.
So Arttu Järvinen start front 4, also Emmanuel Johnson.
And as we calculate how many fins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Finns and 10 foreign players in the top 16.
And one from Estonia, Ulari Les.
Yes, and all the other ones. It's Ben Robinson is from the UK. Victor Gundersen, I think he's from Denmark.
Yeah,
Based on his shirt. So one Danish player, 1 Estonian player, 1 UK player, and 7 Swedes, if I'm right. This time Arttu Järvinen left 2-5, little light hit. And obviously there is also 8 pins, so it was 7 count. Emanuel Jonsson going on lane 7, and he's going for a 6th strike in a row. Karsten Hansen, who had a really good reaction, like we told earlier today, starts with the same ball and has a spare and 3 strikes. Emanuel Jonsson struck for the 6th time in a row.
and this round robin is very important to win your opponent in each game to get that 30 point more.
Kari Eklund this time has started strongly, spare and a 5-bagger. Because yesterday, in final step number 1, he finished 279 to finish 15th by 10 points. And also an hour ago or so, in final step number 2, he shot 240, 250, maybe 250 in his last game, because he was outside of the top 16. So he has already done it twice, finishing strong, make the cut. And as you could see, Emanuel Jonsson was a bit unlucky, leaving that solid 9, and the messenger went in front of the pin. And Ben Robinson punishes him directly, making a strike. So that game is really, really tight and high scoring at the moment.
And on lane 13 and 14, tight game, only one. It's 3-pin, or 2-pin. 3-pin difference.
And now it's 2-pin advantage to Karo, since he had a 9 count, but obviously Arttu with a strike over here can move ahead by 8. And that is exactly what Arttu does. And Arttu also finished very strongly step number 2. Was it 280 the last game?
Yeah, I think.
He was 142 over, but by finishing 280, he ended up being 222 over and firmly inside the top 16. It was Markus Jansson who was the third one over 800.
Yeah.
Karsten Hansen, Markus Jansson, and Ben Robinson. Nice strike for Karo Hilokoski, keeping the pressure on Arttu Järvinen. Strike for Arttu and also for Jesper Svensson. Markus Jansson is 26 pins ahead of Santtu Tahvanainen after 8 frames.
And lane 1 and 2, Thomas Käykö lead 20 points.
Yeah, both have 2 empty frames. Thomas had empty frames in 4th and 5th frame, and Rami had empty frames in 2nd and 4th. So that's actually a low scoring game between those two. And since it is a high scoring at the moment, even if you win, but if your score is only like 205 or something, you're probably going to lose some ground.
Yeah, maybe we take this little bit. So, Arttu Järvinen still lead.
Yeah, but with 1 strike, Karo over here, he forces Arttu to strike once more. No, actually Arttu won because Arttu has already done 260 and Karo's maximum is 259. So bonus points will go to Arttu Järvinen. Yeah, it's also 250 to Karo. And since it's that good of a game, he's not going to drop out even though he lost the game. Jesper Svensson is leading by 22 pins over Linus Boström. And with that strike, pretty much guarantees that he's going to win the game. Ah, 270. Something for Arttu Järvinen, so great start for him. Ben Robinson takes out 210. But Emanuel Jonsson leads by 5 pins going into the 10th, and he has a strike in the 9th.
And Carl Eklund looks like win Ullari Lees.
He's leading by 21. The mark is enough for Carl Eklund to win that match. Markus Jansson is going to win Santtu Tahvanainen. $220 to Santtu. And Emmanuel Jonsson did win against Ben Robbins. Okay, he needs good count, but let's say 7-2 is enough for him to win the match. William Berggren against Karsten Hansen, and since Karsten had those 2 splits in frames 5 and 6, it's Berggren who is up by 25. And with that miss, William Berggren is going to win that game. And with that strike, Emmanuel Jonsson takes the bonus pins against Ben Robbins. One and two. Looks like Thomas Kähkö is going to beat Rami Mukkula, who is or was our tournament leader after that 8-game block earlier today. But since his game is not going to be that high, it's only going to be maximum 190, so somebody will go past him in Group A.
So Jarno Lahti, 1 strike and it's clear.
It did go down. Was it a light 4?
Yeah.
So guaranteed to shoot 220. Okay, still needs count if Victor Gundersen strikes out, because Victor's maximum is 222 and Jarno Lahti is now 24 over, so 9 spare is needed if Victor Gundersen strikes out. Unfortunate solid 8 for Karsten Hansen. Victor Gundersen makes his first strike. So 9 spare is enough for Jarno Lahti to win that game. Thomas Kähkö is going to shoot about 200. And since Rami Mukkula left that 10 pin, his maximum is 170 only. And Jarno Lahti makes another strike, so 230 for him and bonus pins. He will go ahead of Rami Mukkula at least. Already in this first game, Group B, they have already started their second games, but in Group A, they are still playing those last shots of that first game. And I would assume it is, for example, Thomas Kähkö is very slow-paced bowler.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually good because we can follow closely 10 frames first in Group B and then switch to Group A. Because if they would be playing the 10 frames simultaneously, following would be harder.
Yeah, and we can pick up a little bigger screen then.
That's true.
And Rowley now fixing scores for us. Not yet showing, but soon.
Strike for Jesper Svensson. Bad shot for Arttu Järvinen, but fortunate only to leave 10 pin. Group A is starting their second games, first shots. Group B is already third frame. Karo Hilokoski strikes and moves ahead of Linus, who left the 10 pin. So far, we have seen 6 perfect games in this year's tournament, and 5 of those are included in 300 extra. First prize, and the only prize of €3,000 will go to the winner, and that roll-up will take place immediately after those top 4 TV finals have been played. And for that, we are going to stream it from Rauli Kärki's channel like this round robin. Only that TV final will be broadcasted live on Yle Areena. The link is over there on the website. But that 300 extra will be streamed again on this same channel. It's actually amazing how much faster Group B plays than Group A.
It's quite normal here.
It has happened, yeah.
Every
before.
year,
Yeah.
same thing. I don't know, maybe something in the lens or not.
Well, I think certain players in Group A are slow-paced bowlers. That's the reason. With that strike, Linus Boström moves ahead of Karo Hilokoski again. Match between Arttu Järvinen and Jesper Svensson is tied after 4 frames. But now it's not tied anymore since Arttu Järvinen struck again and moved ahead by 10.
So soon we see results after first game.
Yeah, those are ready over there as soon as Rauli is able to put those on display. Results are there. Victor Gundersen misses the 7 pin and he's holding his thumb. Most likely nothing serious happened there except that he missed that 7 pin. Arttu Järvinen can put some more pressure on 2-time champion Jesper Svensson, and that is exactly what he's doing. Another strike for Arttu Järvinen. His showing has been impressive. And there you can see the results. A group above and B group below. And as you can see, the margins are after the first game still very narrow, so it's impossible to say what's going to happen. Okay, William Berggren and Ben Robinson are trailing the third place by 100 or so, but in 6 round robin matches, you can catch it very easy. The same thing in Group B, Jesper Svensson and Carl Eklund. And they both won their first matches. They're more than capable of making the top 2. Some late help on that solid 9, Arttu Järvinen. He's
Yeah,
definitely playing great tournament today.
and he has now big fan club behind him.
Yeah, there are several people cheering for him. And that Ganali Helme, that bowling club, it comes from Rauma, west coast of Finland. Arttu is leading by 10 after 7 frames. A group seems like that 1 and 2 is not that nice. Both players have been unable to make a double over there, and Emanuel Jonsson has an open frame in the third. Just like Rami Mukkula and Thomas Käyhkö, Thomas shot 200 and Rami 170. Victor Gundersen is in trouble against Thomas Käyhkö, who has a double, and Victor has 2 open frames, so it's already 35 in advantage to Thomas Käyhkö after 4 frames.
And Carl Eklund kicking Santtu.
Yeah, especially after Santtu left at 3-7. More than likely that Carl Eklund is going to win that and continue his climb towards those top 2 spots.
And Santtu didn't win that first game, so oops.
And he didn't win on that spare shot either, because that was kind of weird. Because you need to hit light on the right head of the 3-pin, and he misses the whole thing on the left. Well, sometimes that can happen. And also Thomas Käyhkö left at 2-8-10, but Victor Gundersen was unable to capitalize on that 2-8-10 on Thomas, leaving 3 and 6. Arttu Järvinen, who opened up in the 8th, he's trailing Jesper Svensson by 3, but he did strike in the 9th, giving him, oh, that was poor luck. Karo Hilokoski leaving solid 9. Because he definitely needed that strike. Now he's trailing Linus Boström by 26 pins. That is a leave that you don't usually see. 6, 9, 10 for a left-handed bowler. So if Jeppe makes a spare on that one, it is tied going into the 10th, but Arttu does have that strike advantage. Easy spare for him. That game is tied. Jesper is going first. Linus Boström actually leaves 210. And Arttu strikes, so he takes the bonuses against Jesper Svensson after Jesper left that 4-7. Another win for Arttu Järvinen. After that split for Linus, Karo needed to strike, but he was unable to do that. Karo Eklund is definitely going to beat Santtu Tahvanainen, and
Ulari and Markus is very tight.
it's 2-pin advantage to Ulari going into the 10th. Assuming Markus is going to make spare on that 8-pin, which obviously he does. And Linus actually spares that 2-10. And he leads by 25, so a good count. 7-1 is enough for Linus in the 10th to take home the bonuses. Jesper Svensson switched balls for that fill ball. And Ulari struck in the 10th. And that means that he only needs 9 spare to shut out Markus Jansson for bonuses in this second game. Rami Mukkula's and Jarno Lahti's game is 1 point advantage to Rami Mukkula and 2 frames to go, and both are working on a strike in the 8th. On 1 and 2, Emanuel Jonsson is leading by 4 over William Berggren after 8 frames. So in Group B, winners on the second round were Ulari Lees, Karo Eklund, Linus Boström and Arttu Järvinen. Rami Mukkula doubled, so he leads by 11 over Jarno Lahti going into the 10th. Karsten Hansen is destroying Ben Robinson. He has only left once after 9 frames. Ben Robinson is 4 over par going into the 10th. Emanuel Jonsson leaves at 2-4-5, which means he leads by 1. So that is a tight match. Seems to be a problem on 7 and 8. Probably the balls are stuck there somewhere, because I think the scoring is correct. And Rami Mukkula rebounds pretty nicely after that first game, 160 something and a loss, beating Jarno Lahti in this second game. Thomas Käykö is up by 19 against Victor Gundersen and 2 frames to go. Week 10 for Karsten Hansen, so he probably shoots 250 something, because I assume he's going to spare that 10-pin. Rami Mukkula shoots 240 and takes home the bonus pins against Jarno Lahti. This is pretty much a must strike for Victor Gundersen.
It is.
Yeah, narrowly taking down the 7-pin, so now it's only 9-pin advantage to Thomas Käykö. And if he doesn't strike here, then it's in Victor Gundersen's hands to win the match. And he leaves sort of like ringer week 10 hybrid over there. It wasn't a week 10, but it wasn't a ringer either. But the end result is still the same. He left the 10 pin and only leads by 8. And Victor Gundersen has that edge with strike in the 9th. Group B has already started their third matches. Comfortable spare for Thomas Käykö. That match between Emanuel Jonsson and Vilja Berggren. William Berggren wins it by making that second strike, so it's going to be 220 William Berggren, 210 Emanuel Jonsson. The bonus goes to William Berggren. So in the A group, winners are Berggren, Hansen, Mukkula. And the only match, Käykö and Gundersen, since Gundersen struck in the 10th, he leads by 2. Strike for Thomas Käykö. Hanging on in the match. Gundersen needs a strike and a 9 count to shut out Thomas Käykö. But as you can see, it is Thomas Käykö who's playing. Okay, they had this minute or so delay because of that lane problem, but his playing pace is way slower than all the other players.
Yeah.
Gundersen strikes, so he only needs a 9 count to win that match, even if Thomas Käykö strikes out.
It looks like only 1 over 500 game. Arttu Järvinen.
Yes, he's over 500.
So a little bit slow start.
No strike for Thomas, so last bonus points will go to Victor Gundersen, and his game is 226. Only take a minute or so for us to publish those scores after 10 games.
I think Group B is ready.
Group B. Group B is ready.
Yeah.
Can wait for the Group A to update itself and then put it on display. But in these third matches, it's Linus Boström again leaving a split, this time unfortunate 7-10. But Kari Hägglund answers with 4-9. So Linus probably is going to lead by around 10 pins. Arttu Järvinen keeps up going his strong ways. Again started with 2 spares and a triple. And Markus Jansson has already 1 open frame. So it's about 30 pin advantage to Arttu Järvinen already. Then Santtu Tahvanainen leads by 11 over Jesper Svensson. And Karo Hilokoski leads by 20 over Ulari Lees.
And now we have the scores.
Yes, scores are there. Rauli, please do put those on display. And there you go. As you can see, the difference between Rami Mukkula, who leads, and Jarno Lahti, who is fourth, is only 41 pins. And in Group B, first three are inside 22 points. Still very tight.
Group A bonuses.
Only William Berggren has won both of his matches.
Yeah.
And in Group B, Kar Eklund and Arttu Järvinen have won both of their matches.
Santtu and Karo still 0.
And since Arttu Järvinen struck for the fourth time and Markus Jansson was unable to double, it's already a 40-pin advantage to Arttu Järvinen. So it looks more than likely that Arttu Järvinen is going to keep up going on his winning ways. Victor Gundersen strikes in the second after leaving that 3-4 first frame. Jarno Lahti strikes for the third time. Linus Boström, who's the leader in Group B, and Kar Eklund. Both are struggling a little bit on that pair at 13 and 14. And not only a little bit, they are both heavily struggling on that pair. Santtu Tahvanainen is up by 20 against Jesper Svensson, who is actually in last place, Group B. Ben Robinson, who is in last place in Group A, has started with a triple. And this is a time when he really needs to start his push if he's going to seriously challenge for a spot in the top two. I think he needs to win the last remaining matches and keep scoring high.
Yeah, because now it's almost 200 points behind.
Yeah, 170. Jarno Lahti strikes for the fourth time. Linus Boström strikes, and since Kar Eklund has left 4-6, he's on pace to shoot 160, which would be pretty much catastrophic for him, because his difference was 70 pins to Ulari Lees, but if he shoots 170 or 160 and loses, there's only 4 games left after this match.
Yeah, but looking Ulari might won Karo. Quite tight game.
Yeah, but Ulari's
Now
scores are pretty low. He's 2 under. After that split, it is most likely that Ulari is going to win that match, but the scoring is not too high. Linus is definitely going to beat Kar Eklund. Santtu Tahvanainen is making a push against Jesper Svensson. He's up by 19. Arttu Järvinen strikes again.
so Group B look like Linus and Arttu leading.
Arttu has already shot 240 for this third game also.
Yeah,
He's really on fire. Pretty much a must-strike situation for Jesper Svensson. And no. And if he loses this game, I would really say that it's not going to be Jesper Svensson taking his third title this year.
look.
Ulari Les was lucky, tripping 410. And with that strike, he pretty much seals the game for himself. And now it's guaranteed because Karo needed to strike out for 199. Ulari Les will get those bonus points. But Arttu Järvinen probably goes past him because he's scoring so much more.
Yeah, and because
250, yeah. Arttu Järvinen is going to lead Group B
Yeah.
after 3 matches.
yeah,
Quite amazing, don't you think?
yeah, and the defending champion Jarno Lahti front 6.
And he is, like we can see, sitting on the 4th position. Victor Gundersen, who opened up with that split, now strikes again for 5th in a row. He's actually trailing Ben Robinson by 11. In Group B, winners in 3rd round were Linus Boström, Arttu Järvinen, Santtu Tahvanainen and Ulari Les. Jarno Lahti will probably win against Karsten Hansen after Karsten left at 4-pin. So Jarno Lahti is going to move ahead of Karsten, depending on what happens in the match between Ben Robinson and Victor Gundersen. Rami Mukkula is up by 11 against. No, Willem Berggren is up by 11, now 12 against Rami Mukkula.
Santtu Tahvanainen crashing Jesper Svensson, and
Yeah, 260 game for Santtu Tahvanainen.
Santtu jumping up.
Yeah, he's gonna move past
Ulari, I think.
Markus Jansson.
Yeah, 3rd place.
Ulari will stay ahead of Santtu because he wins his match. Only 30 pins less, so there's still 20 pin gap. But Linus Boström actually shot only 180, so Santtu Tahvanainen moved past him. So it's Arttu Järvinen leading, Ulari Les second, and Santtu Tahvanainen at 3rd place after 3 matches. That's high scoring match between Ben Robinson and Victor Gundersen, 2 lefties.
And Group B scores are there.
Like we said, Arttu Järvinen, Ulari Les, Santtu Tahvanainen, Linus Boström, and so on. William Berggren strikes in the 8th. He has a firm grip over Rami Mukkula in that match. And And now that Ben Robinson left that 3-pin with a strike over here, Victor Gundersen can actually move ahead of Ben Robinson. Now it's tied. And he does strike, even though even I thought it wasn't his best shot of the day. But in any case, it was a strike. So Victor Gundersen is up by 10 against Ben Robinson. 10th frame to go. Rami Mukkula is down by 22. Now by 12. So we still have a match between those two guys. But William Berggren answers with a perfect strike. So 22-point difference going into the 10th. And Thomas Käykö strikes. And he is up by 33 against Emmanuel Jonsson after 8 frames. So that match is firmly in Thomas's hand. Rami can put some more pressure on William Berggren. If he strikes out, then William needs to stay clean and he can only lose 1 pin. Getting some late help on number 7. There's a strike for Rami Mukkula. And with that strike, he pretty much forces William Berggren actually make a clean game, clean frame already. A little too late for Ben Robinson after leaving that 3-pin in the 9th. Victor Gundersen has already won that match with a high score. William Berggren actually leaves that 4-6. And he's losing count. So Rami Mukkula pretty much 9 is enough. And he wins that match. 230 something to Rami Mukkula and 220 something to William Berggren.
So Rami is still good position.
It's actually Victor Gundersen is jumping into the first place because he's shooting 270 and Rami Mukkula shot 230. So it's going to be 20 something between Victor Gundersen and Rami Mukkula, and they are 1 and 2 after 3 matches in Group A. We can count out certain players already. Ben Robinson definitely in Group A, he's not going to be in the top 2. And since William Berggren lost that match and Emmanuel Jonsson, I find it hard for those 2 guys also to make the top 2. And in Group B, Karo Hilokoski, Kare Eklund, and I would say also Jesper Svensson. Those 3 guys are out of the running, but
Yeah,
in both groups there are still 5 players fighting for those 2 spots.
looks like Karo doing good game.
But the difference is 180 points, so it can't go that even if he wins all 4, there's too many players between him and that second place.
Yeah.
Unless he shoots 1,070 for 4.
And Ulari Lees leading Jesper Svensson.
I actually talked briefly with Jesper Svensson when lanes were being oiled again, and he said that He's not feeling confident because he does not have a purple hammer.
Only one problem.
Yeah, and that's a big problem these days. But sort of, to me, it looks like that because of that fact, he's sort of like given up. Even when he started playing this round robin, I didn't see that fire and confidence in him. It looked
Yeah.
like that he had already lost in his head.
And that body language on the track looks like also same kind of situation. So
In this fourth game, Arttu Järvinen has faced first time some problems. No doubles in 5 frames. Linus Boström, who is fourth, has started with 4. So he has already moved ahead of Arttu Järvinen. A perfect reaction for him. 6 pin taking out the 10. Exactly the way it should. Staying low, hitting the thickest spot of the pin, and front 5 for Linus.
Santtu Tahvanainen and Karo Hilokoski front 5.
Yeah,
Oh.
3 players out of those 8 players in Group B have started from 5. Now Karo has already 6. Jesper Svensson, even though we just cursed him out of the tournament,
But
makes
still
his
looking good.
fourth strike.
But Ulari Les playing in so good. So
But Jesper is up by 1 pin.
yeah. Santtu Tahvanainen and Karo Hilokoski front 6. And also Linus Boström.
Imagine they are already in the 6th or 7th frame in Group B, and Group A has just started game 4. It
Yeah.
might happen that Group B finishes their 7th game before Group A has finished their 6th.
Look like that.
It is possible.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't cause any problems because we are scheduled to start those TV finals at 5 p.m. and it's only 2:40 p.m. now, so we have plenty of time. And that slow pace is not affecting this building crew who are working on over here in the end part of the bowling center, setting up that TV setup over here.
Linus Boström front 7. Same Karo Hilokoski.
That's amazing. Did you see that Arttu Järvinen missed that 10 pin in the 5th frame? Although he's still only trailing 12, only 12 against Carl Eklund, because Carl Eklund is also 13 under after 6 frames. And now that Ulari Les had that big split in the 7th, Jesper Svensson has moved ahead of him.
So now 8 frames for those 3 players. Linus go first.
Just a solid strike for Linus. That's exactly the same ball that he already used yesterday when he shot that 300.
Yes.
It's global 900, harsh reality.
Karo front 8.
But Markus Jansson is still in the match because Linus only needs to leave once, and then those players would both be on pace to shoot 279.
Yes.
Jesper Svensson needs to strike here, but unfortunately he misses to the right and leaves the 2 pin. But not only winning matches is enough for Jesper, he needs to score high. Especially we have Santtu Tahvanainen and Linus Boström shooting 300 over here,
Yeah.
and they are way ahead of him. What Karo Hilokoski does, it doesn't really affect Jesper Svensson's situation. Of course, if Karo wins Santtu, that means a lot, but That was tight line for Linus, and therefore he left that 4-6-7. And that gives all the chances to Markus Jansson to win this match.
Let's see his 9th frame. No strike.
No, 2-8.
Front 8.
So now his
Santtu,
maximum is
Karo.
257, and Linus, even if he's obviously is going to open up in the 9th with that 4-6, striking out, his maximum is 260 something.
And now Santtu has a chance.
Yeah, after Karo left that solid 8. Look, it was so close for Linus to be a spare, because that 4-pin did hit the ball over there in the back of the machine. It almost bounced back. Just plain
Front
perfect
9,
strike from
Santtu
Santtu Tahvanainen.
Tahvanainen.
Front 9. Santtu is going to be the leader after 4 games in Group B.
Yeah, because Arttu Järvinen not good serious
No.
and Ulari less probably.
He's going to lose.
Yeah.
But imagine how tight it was, because Santtu Tahvanainen was pretty much out of the tournament yesterday. And then he
yeah,
finished that 6th game 290 to make it by 10 pins. And now he's going to be the leader in Group B after 4 games.
Yeah. Linus made a strike,
Front
but
10, Santtu
we can see
Tahvanainen.
they are 4th and 5th place there. So
Really bad shot for Markus Jansson. And that means that Linus will win that match, because Markus is going to shoot 240 and Linus has already scored 250.
so more gap between them.
And since Santtu already made that 10th strike, he's going to win Karo no matter what.
Ulari
Jesper
there
actually left that split over there. Ulari
and lost that game.
and lost that game unless he makes a spare. Because that's 231 for Ulari.
Maybe.
He made that spare, so 238. Jesper is going to win it.
Santtu.
It went inside. But anyhow, 289, and he's going to be the leader in Group B. Ulari Les 231. But he's going to lose after he left that 10 pin, and Jesper was able to make that spare on that 6-8. Karo Hilokoski, 260 game and no bonuses. Okay, his chances of making the top 2 were already gone, but every position is more money, so there's no need to give up. Try to climb as high as you can.
Yeah, it's like 200, 300 euros per position.
Yeah, about like that. Arttu Järvinen 181. And he loses to Carl Eklund, who shoots 190 something. Scores will soon be updated over there on Group E, so we should concentrate on Group A. Jarno Lahti, 4-bagger, 9 spare, and his opponent Emanuel Jonsson has been struggling, so already after 5 frames, that's pretty much a done deal. Jarno is going to win. Thomas Käykkä and Karsten Janssen, they are dead even at 5 frames. Ben Robinson leaving that 8 pin. So Rami Mukkula is ahead of Ben by 14.
And Victor leading William Berggren, so look like that.
Yeah, Victor
Top players.
Victor is leading by 13 against William Berggren after 6 frames. And with that strike, Rami Mukkula increases his lead over Ben Robinson. Light hit for Karsten Hansen, but he was fortunate not to leave that 10 pin, only 2 for 8. And with a spare, Thomas Käykö is up by 2 after 6 frames. Really nice strike to Victor Gundersen. He increases his lead over William Berggren to 23 pins. Jarno Lahti strikes again. So that match is firmly in his hands. He's 39 over for the game, and Emanuel Jonsson is 17 under. So, like I said, it's pretty much a done deal, that match.
And Group B, Santtu Tahvanainen leading with 50 points. And then there is quite little gap between Linus and Ulari.
Yes. Still 3 matches to go.
And Markus Jansson still have a chance because it's only 90.
Yeah, and
points.
if Linus is struggling because he started with an open frame.
That
Still
might
chance.
be very important game because winner might be the top 2.
Yeah, it really, you could call it a 60-point game. Santtu Tahvanainen and Arttu Järvinen both have started with a double. Markus Jansson instead leaving 2-8-10. Nice strike for Jesper. Oh, big for Karo Ilokoski. Arttu Järvinen strikes again.
We can hear that without watching that.
Yeah.
And Group A, Victor Gundersen looked like win that same. Rami Mukkula.
Well, William Berggren needs to strike with this ball. And he does. So he is 8 over for the game, and Victor Gundersen is 20 over. So it's 12-point game, but Gilbert Berggren has that strike in the night. So it's still open up. Rami Mukkula is going to beat Ben Robinson.
And Thomas Käykö look like I cannot see in that little screen.
Thomas is 18 over and Karsten Hansen is 6 over. So that's 12-point advantage to Thomas after 8 frames. But Rami Mukkula might take back the pole position. Victor Gundersen's maximum is 230 and Rami Mukkula can shoot 279. And with those scores, he would go ahead of Victor Gundersen. Victor strikes, so that means William Berggren needs to strike twice. And still Victor Gundersen can win the match by striking once more and 9 count with the fill ball. A poor shot from Rami, so that means with a spare he's going to be 250s. William Berggren still fighting. So Victor Gundersen needs to strike once more to shut out William Berggren. Jarno Lahti, he's He has already shot 260 with one more 270. Oh. Gundersen left a solid 8. So that means he's going to shoot 220. So one more strike of William Berggren and he's going to win the match. Fair for Rami Mukkula, so 250 for him. He's barely staying ahead of Jarno Lahti. Just a few pins if Jarno strikes out.
Now William.
Bad shot, so Victor Gundersen wins that match.
So those three guys fighting that top 2.
Yeah, because Thomas Käykö, his maximum is 240, but Jarno Lahti, who was third, who shot 270. So that's 40 pins more. The gap is getting a little too big. It's almost 100
Yeah.
to third. And only 3 matches remaining. So Thomas Käykö definitely needs to win the remaining matches and hope for some help from Gundersen, Mukkula and Lahti. Okay, most likely Käykö will play against one of those players. So in that case, if you win, obviously your opponent loses. Still chance, but out of those guys, because Karsten and Käykö, they're pretty much same position after this match. They both need to win out and hope for some help. I think Group A winners in 4th matches were Gundersen, Mukkula and Lahti, and Karsten Hansen. He can tie Käykö with 2 strikes, and if Käykö strikes, yes, it's a matter who wins with the fill ball. We're tied. And actually, if they do tie, neither of them, they are getting the 30 pin bonus, only 15.
They lose more.
Yeah. Okay, Karsten was 50 ahead of Thomas. So
let's see.
I think Thomas's chances of making the top 2 are quite slim at the moment. $279 for Jarno Lahti. Great game.
It's a tie.
It's a tie, 226 for both Karsten Hansen and Thomas Käykö. And it should not take too long for those scores to update also on Group A. Meanwhile, here in Group B, Jesper Svensson has started with front 6. Let's make that front 7. Karo Hilokoski has also played a good game, but his match against Kar Eklund, neither of those
Front
players
7,
are going to
Jesper
make
Svensson.
top 2. Linus Boström and Ulari Les, they are both a few pins under the par. With that strike, Linus moves ahead by 11.
Santtu and Arttu both have 2 spares. So
Arttu is trailing by 4. And Santtu has strike in the 8th and Arttu has a spare. So minor advantage to Santtu.
So those top 4 players are playing against each other, so it's very important games. What if Jesper
Dead flush.
Svensson make 300 game, and these look like little bit over 200, 230. maximum on Santtu and Arttu.
Jesper can sneak into the fight for the top 2
Yeah.
spots. With that perfect strike over there, Santtu Tahvanainen, and after that 3-7, most likely Santtu is going to beat Arttu. Arttu's game is, if he doesn't make that spare,
8 kaato,
around
8
200.
strikes.
Jesper Svensson
Svensson.
would actually move way ahead of Arttu Järvinen by shooting that 300.
Only one pin.
And Jesper Svensson can go past Ulariles also, so all of a sudden he's in the fight.
Yeah.
So usually when you're shooting 300s, it's going okay for you.
Linus make a strike.
Yeah,
So
leading by 22 and 2 frames to go for him. And now it's guaranteed that Santtu will beat Arttu Järvinen. Okay, it was guaranteed before the last frame. Arttu's score is only about 200. Ulari strikes in the 8th, so that is 22 pin advantage to lead. That was a high-scoring match between Eklund and Hilokoski. Karo beats Eklund 259-258. But since Jesper in front of them is shooting 300,
strikes.
they're not going to catch anyone.
Svensson.
Okay, Markus Jansson, because his game is poor. Karo might go past Markus and probably will go past him.
yeah. Look like that.
And Karo is actually trailing Arttu Järvinen only by 20 pins. And since it's Linus winning Ulari, and he was already up ahead of Ulari by 33, so the gap between second and third is increasing.
Yeah. Santtu still striking, so
Yeah, Santtu shot 250. He's going to increase his lead on top of Group B.
looks like Santtu is on the finals.
At the moment, it looks like so. And really, it doesn't matter if you finish first or second. The only difference is, obviously, you play the other groups. Top-seeded player and that top-seeded player gets to choose which player goes first.
Yeah.
But it's not that big of a thing.
10 kaatoa.
Round 10 for
10
Jesper Svensson.
strikes. Jesper Svensson.
Linus's maximum is 227.
So between Santtu and Linus, the gap rising.
And by leaving something, Ulari, he lost that match. He's going to shoot 2-0 something. And Linus has already secured 210. So bonus points to Linus. .210, but if Jesper shoots that perfect game, he's going to catch 85 points on Linus, and the difference was 130. It's only 45. And Jesper will actually move to third place.
Yeah.
There you go.
11
Maybe you should put
strikes.
that screen on
Jesper
the big one,
Svensson.
so we can see the last one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's less than 50 pins between Linus Boström, who is second, and Jesper Svensson, who moves to third place after 5 games. And like I said 2 games ago,
No chance.
it's all over for Jesper.
Yeah.
Maybe he heard that.
Looks like that ball still kicking.
Obviously, when it's all nothing but strikes. Okay, that was a poor one.
Yeah, but 299.
Yeah, for the tournament it didn't mean anything, but with that strike, obviously, he would have made that 300 extra roll of finals. Not going to take long for Group B to update those scores.
And lane 7 and 8, Karsten Hansen and Rami Mukkula. High game going on. Rami Mukkula, front 6.
And as you can see, Mukkula, Lahti and Gundersen, they are inside 8 pins, those 3. Then it's already 80 points to Karsten Hansen, and if Karsten loses to Rami Mukkula, it's a probably 3-way fight to the finish. And especially with that unlucky ringing 10. Victor Gundersen once again started with a split, then tripled, but now left that 7 pin. Thomas Käykö doubles, but Ben Robinson actually has shot 4 in a row, so he's leading Thomas by 19. Jarno Lahti strikes again. Double, 9 spare, triple. So at this very moment from A, it's Mukkula and Lahti who are sitting on places 1 and 2. Again, Mukkula was a little bit lucky. Another high hit, and once again taking all the 10 down. So front 7 for Rami Mukkula.
Rami Mukkula.
And Rami Mukkula won that International Hammer Challenge. And now looking good for this Ballmaster Open.
Yeah, he won it September 24, the 2nd edition of International Hammer Challenge. And now it's looking very good for him of making the TV finals also in Ballmaster. So obviously he likes this bowling center. Now Group B, the results have been updated. Jesper Svensson is trailing 44 pins against Linus Boström. Ulari Lees is trailing 73, and Arttu Järvinen already 107. And there's only 2 games left. Only 2 games left on to be played in Group B. Santtu Tahvanaisen reaction is really, really good.
Rami Mukkula, front 7 and now frame 8.
Jesper Svensson started with 2 splits. Almost split for
8
Karo
kaatoa,
Hilokoski.
front 8, Rami Mukkula.
But that's bad news for Jesper Svensson. Karo Hilokoski chops that 4-7, leaving the 7 pin over there. A little high hit for Santtu Tahvanainen, leaving the 4.
So
Both Rami Mukkula and Jarno Lahti are shooting high scores. Okay, Victor Gundersen also is 18 over, but a little bit behind these 2 guys. And Rami Mukkula front 9.
9 kaatoa, front 9, Rami Mukkula.
Victor Gundersen left 10 pin.
Arttu Järvinen front 3.
And since the match is against Linus Boström, it's a must win for Arttu Järvinen. But if he ends up winning it, let's say by 30 pins, that would reduce the gap by 60. So it would be only 50 going into the last game, which is doable.
Yeah, and if Jesper Svensson lose that game,
At least his score's not looking to be that good. Another high hit, so he's 20 under almost after 5 frames. And Arttu Järvinen has already struck 4 times. But now it's Rami Mukkula on lane 7. There is a 10th strike.
10 kaatoa, front 10, Rami Mukkula.
And Jarno Lahti. A good light hit for him also. His maximum is 270. Rami Mukkula has already shot 280. Nice strike to Victor Gundersen. He is up by 14 going into 10th, and Emanuel Jonsson does not have a strike in the 9th.
this starts looking very good with Finnish 4 players.
11 kaatoa,
At the
11
moment, it would be 4 Finnish
Rami
bowlers
Mukkula.
on TV. Okay, one more to go, Rami Mukkula. Are we going to see the 7th perfect game? 7 and 8. There. Karsten misses that one, so that's 220. His chances of making the top 2 are very, very slim. I would say non-existent.
I think he's out.
He is out from TV. Good position though, but no. Another one. So 299 for Jesper, now 298 for Rami Mukkula. But the same thing with Rami than Jesper. For the tournament, that was just a minor thing. The only thing was to get into that 300 extra, but that 298, it's pretty much the same as 300.
Yeah,
Victor Gundersen struck once, so he has already shot 220 with one more, so 230. Let's see what happens with Jarno Lahti. Another strike. He has already shot 260. So the gap between Gundersen and these 2 Finnish bowlers, Lahti and Mukkula, is going to increase. Obviously, it was only like 6 and 8 points before this match. Misses there, so 220. Mukkula gains more than 70 pins against Gundersen, and Jarno Lahti with another strike will gain more than 50.
yeah. And Arttu Järvinen front 6, so he fighting, and Linus.
No
and
doubles.
Papa-
Yeah, no doubles.
Yeah.
Very lucky strike for Santtu Tahvanainen, taking out the 4 in a weird way, but either way, it was a strike, so we're all tied in the match between Les and Tahvanainen after 7 frames. They have both left once in frame 3. So as it stands, Linus Boström might not be on 2nd position anymore, although Jesper Svensson, who climbed to 3rd place, he's trailing Karo Hilokoski by 11 after 8 frames, and they both are shooting a bad game. Jesper Svensson is 18 under, now even more after leaving that 3-7. And if Karo beats Jesper over there, it's all over for Jesper. high hit for Arttu Järvinen. Karo strike, so more than likely it's going to be Karo beating Jesper and ending Jesper's chances of making the top 4. But fighting for that second spot after behind Santtu Tahvanainen, it would be Arttu Järvinen, Linus Boström and Ulari Lees. Nice spare, although from the wrong side, either way it marks and counts as a spare. Ulari Lees keeping the pressure on Santtu Tahvanainen.
Jarno Lahti, 279.
That was really massive at that point. And Santtu leaves that 10 pin. That means Ulari needs only one strike to win that match. And since he was trailing 73 pins, Linus is 1 under. And he won't win that match. It looks like that Ulari is going to go past Linus before the last game. Okay, double there for Linus. But he's still going to lose that match. It's only a matter of what the game will be if he is going to be able to keep Ulari Lees behind him. And keep in mind, Ulari hasn't won this match. With one strike, he will edge out Santtu Tahvanainen for sure, but if he leaves something, anything is possible.
And Group A is ready. So there is 60 points gap between Jarno and Victor.
And like we said, Hansen out, Thomas out, and
Yes.
so on. Ulari did strike, so he won that match. Linus was a little bit unlucky, leaving that 7 pin over there. So as it stands, Ulari has played 60 pins more than Linus. And since he's going to win that match, Ulari actually has already guaranteed that he's going to go past Linus. And Ulari Lees will be second going into the last game. A little too hard, leaving that 7 pin from that light hit, but still 268 for him. But Santtu Tahvanainen, because he's shooting that big game, he's a lock to win the group and also a lock to make TV finals.
Yeah. And Rami Mukkula started with front 3 on Group A.
Again. And it's a match against Victor Gundersen, and if Rami Mukkula wins Victor Gundersen in this match, obviously it is guaranteed that Rami is going to beat Victor. But at the same time, Victor is losing, and depending on what's happening with Jarno Lahti, it might happen that it's all sealed before the last game. Linus a bit lucky, tripping the 2 pin. Look, Karo Hilokoski is only trailing by 17 against Jesper Svensson. And Jesper was in contention before that last game and now out.
Yeah. That was fast rising and
Yes.
very fast drop.
But that tells you how fast things can change when we play round robin. And I really think round robin is the most interesting format in bowling. Of course, those best of 5 matches which we're using in Hammer Challenge, those are also interesting to watch, but in this case, it changes so fast. I like it. Arttu Järvinen 266. So the gap between Ulari Lees and Arttu Järvinen is going to stay the same, and it's only 35 pins. $217 for Linus Boström. So, Lees, Boström, Järvinen. Those are the guys fighting for that second spot in Squad B and Group B, and we only have one match remaining. Rami Mukkula strikes again over there.
Victor doing good game also, so it's open.
Yeah, it's 9-pin advantage to Rami Mukkula after 5 frames. And for Victor's sake, Thomas Käykö is doing a good job leading Jarno Lahti, and Victor really needs Thomas to win Jarno to have a chance in the last game.
And
Another strike for Thomas.
Group B, there is game between Linus Boström and Santtu Tahvanainen.
So Santtu is guaranteed to be the top seed, and Linus already started with that 210. The other match is Ulari Lees, Arttu Järvinen.
Yeah, that's very...
That could be the decider. Whoever wins that match will be the second seed in this group. We just need to wait for that results to update. But we know Arttu Järvinen shot 260. Was it 260? If it was,
Now it's ready.
yeah, the difference is 36 pins between Ulari Lees and Arttu Järvinen. So that means if Arttu Järvinen wins with 7 or more, he's gonna go past Ulari. And Linus is sandwiched between them. And Linus actually, I didn't see that, he made the spare on that 210. But unfortunately, for Linus, he's playing against red hot Santtu Tahvanainen at the moment, who looks like he's not going to give any kind of help to Linus.
That's going to be very pressure game.
But we are in a very interesting situation. Jansson, Hilokoski, Svensson, Eklund, those matches don't really matter when we're talking about who's going to make it to TV. Really unfortunate. 7-pin to Arttu Järvinen. Ulari is really playing fast. And sometimes it can happen like that. A really weak 10.
Santtu almost 7-10 split.
Yeah, luckily for him, the messenger took out the 10. But once again, it's good that these groups are playing in different pace, because now we can first follow what happens in Group B and then concentrate what's going to happen in Group A.
Yeah.
Victor Gundersen, he is trailing already Rami Mukkula by 31 pins. So Rami is he is a lock
If
to make the
Linus
TV
make
finals.
a strike now, he leading this game.
He leads by 1 game. And Arttu Järvinen leads by 10 against Ulari, so he has already taken bigger lead than he needs. It would be a huge thing for Arttu Järvinen at such a young age to make the TV finals in Ballmaster Open.
Yeah, I try to think where he playing and what kind of average he has.
I don't know. And since he's representing Ganali Helme, I haven't seen him play Finnish National League. I've seen him play Finnish Youth Ranking, which obviously a little bit different skill level than Ballmaster Open.
Yeah.
Jarno Lahti opened up in the 5th, and since Thomas Käykkä has started with front 6, Thomas is really helping Victor Gundersen.
Yeah, but
And another
still that
split.
60 points and Victor going to lose that game.
Yeah,
from-
but Jarno is already almost 30 under. And Victor is 8 over.
So
With this strike, he's 18 over. So the gap is less than 20. About 20. It's still wide open.
yeah,
And I can't remember if Gundersen and Lahti already played against each other. That would be like over here, Les and Järvinen going against each other. The ball is going so fast, it doesn't lose speed at all. Ulari Les, that's why he keeps on leaving 7s and 10s. It remains that same 10-pin difference. But Linus can really take a big jump, and he able to knock that 10-pin down. 4th in a row. He's up by 21 against Santtu Tahvanainen.
so Victor maximum is
238. He has already done 220. And since Jarno
Front
is
7,
almost 30 under,
Thomas Käykkä.
yeah. And now there is 10 pin.
Rami Mukkula with that win, with that 250 game, he is guaranteed to be playing in TV finals. And over here it stays the same between Arttu Järvinen and Ulari Les. Still that 10-point difference. But since Linus is playing good and Santtu only made a 7 spare, so that means Linus leads by 21. As it stands, it's going to be Linus Boström who's going to be making the finals, but we still have 4 frames in each match. Anybody between Linus Boström and Järvinen can make the TV finals, and that was a big strike to Arttu Järvinen. Now he's up by 20. Did he miss it too much? Oh, that was a perfect strike. And keep in mind, Linus is ahead of Arttu Järvinen by 28. And most likely, if Linus wins,
front
it
8,
doesn't matter
Thomas
if Arttu wins
Käykkä.
because it can't go around. But Ulari, since he was ahead of Linus, if he wins that match, he's now 9 over. Linus is 40 over. I see Arttu Järvinen's chances of making top 2 very slim at the moment. That would require Linus to open up a couple of times.
Yeah. So still fighting.
Yeah, and that is helping Linus. Thomas Käykkä, if he shoots 300, but it was already 190 points. So, okay, Jarno Lahti shooting 170. He would take back 160 pins.
Yeah.
So minor chance for Thomas Käykkä, but he really needs to strike out. At least shoot that 11 strikes. Gundersen's score was 225. And since Jarno Lahti is 27 under, so that means 52 pins, and their difference was 60.
No.
Nope. Jarno is only ahead of Victor Gundersen by 8. Now that Ulari left that 10 pin, Arttu Järvinen is up by 21.
So this,
And that means for Linus Boström, okay, he needs to win. And since Santtu Tahmanen did double, the difference is only 20 pins. But this is going to be very interesting. It might go down the wire to the 10th frame to really decide what's going to happen.
it's a strike.
And that means Arttu Järvinen will win that match against Ulari
Tomas
Lees.
Käyhkö.
Yeah.
And that means also Ulari Lees is not going to be in the top 2 because Arttu Järvinen is going ahead of him.
So Linus need a strike, but Santtu make. There is still 3 pins.
Yeah, that helps Linus that Santtu left that 3-6-10. But Arttu Järvinen maximum is 259 and the difference between Boström and Järvinen was 28. So Linus needs to stay there high 230s. That would be enough. But Arttu Järvinen definitely needs to strike out to have any kind of chance. And he trips the 4, keeping those hopes alive. And that means mathematically Ulari Lees is out of top 2. If Linus strikes now, he can actually make an empty frame in the 10th as long as he doesn't lose too much count. Because Arttu's maximum is 259, that would mean that 232 would be enough for Linus.
So let's see.
And with this strike, which is a strike, he can open up in the 10th and lose 7 count. It's more than likely it's going to be Linus Boström.
But Arttu do that little pressure.
Yeah, but he can lose 7. So that means 7 and 1 is enough.
And we are not looking at Thomas Käyhkö, not yet, because these games are more important here.
It is actually more important. Although Thomas is edging himself into the fight,
Yeah.
if he is able to shoot all those strikes.
Yeah.
But let's concentrate on that Group A after we know what's going to happen in
Thomas
Group B.
Käyhkö. 10 strikes.
So
So
Arttu Järvinen is ready.
232 is enough for Linus. And since he is 49 over, that means he can open up, and as long as he doesn't lose count more than 7. 8 with the first ball, that's already a done deal. Okay, Santtu actually can win because his maximum is 236.
So,
Santtu is still in the mix. What's going to happen? But any kind of mark for Linus is enough. And that should be an easy spare because he left only the 8 pin.
yeah.
And since that happened, he has already shot 236.
But
11
those
kaatoa,
points.
11 strikes.
Yes,
Thomas Käyhkö.
Well, if he spares, that's it. If he misses
Yeah.
and Santtu strikes out, then it would be Arttu Järvinen.
Yeah.
But I am pretty sure Linus is going to hook it, and he's going to hit it like that. So
Yes.
we have Linus Boström finishing second in Group B. Now we can concentrate what's going to happen with Thomas Käyhkö. He has a front 11 going into the
Here and
last shot, and with this good game, Thomas Käyhkö actually edges himself back into the fight. Obviously, he likes to strike once more to get into that 300 extra, but for the tournament, it really doesn't matter if it's 299 or 300. He's in the fight for those TV final spots in any case. Third time during the round robin, a player had front 11 and did not strike.
Yeah. I think I go to the business lunch now because I have other duties there.
Yeah, I will finish with that A group. But Group B, Santtu Tahvanainen wins. Linus Boström finishes second. I will publish those scores when those are ready as soon as possible, but we can confirm that Tahvanainen and Boström are going to be playing on TV. Jarno Lahti is playing 5-7. He's playing against Ben Robinson on 1 and 2. Victor Gundersen is playing against Karsten Hansen on 7 and 8. And Thomas Käykö is going against William Berggren on 3 and 4. And pretty soon we'll be, oh, there it is. Lahti and Gundersen, 7 pins, and Thomas Käykö is only trailing Jarno Lahti 32. So we're in a very interesting fight also in Group A. The only thing we can say, Rami Mukkula is going to be the top seed from Group A, but who is going to be that second player? Of course, Karsten Hansen, if he shoots very high game, because he's only trailing 69, and he would obviously win Victor Gundersen, so he needs to beat Victor Gundersen by 33 pins to edge him out. And depending on what's going to happen with Jarno Lahti and Thomas Käykö. So we have 4 players fighting for that second spot in Group A. And this is the last game. Very interesting situation. Jarno Lahti was able to make a spare on that 5-7. Thomas Käykö started with pair. Victor Gundersen started with strike. Karsten leaves that solid 9. And a double for Victor Gundersen. It's still anybody's game. Obviously, Karsten Hansen, since he has started with 2 spares, he pretty much needs to start striking now to stay in the hunt. Jarno spares the 10 pin, but Ben Robinson has started with a double, so he's a little ahead of Jarno after 2 frames. Light hit for Thomas, 2-4-5, and that did not look good. The ball didn't grab the lane at all, just went goes all the way to the end. Week 7 for Victor Gundersen. Another 10 pin for Jarno. And after Ben Robinson already made third strike, it's 22 advantage to Ben Robinson. Victor Gundersen comfortably spares that 7-pin, and at the same time Thomas Käykö chops that 2-4-5. That is a very huge break for him, because now he's trailing Victor Gundersen over 20 pins, and their difference was 25. But there's still 7 frames to go. Great strike by Karsten Hansen, and he is still in the fight. Obviously, Jarno Lahti, who is second at the moment, he's not shooting high. 3 spares to start with. And Thomas Käykö already opened up. And if Karsten shoots high and beats Victor Gundersen by 33 pins, it is still totally possible for Karsten Hansen to move into the second place. Really nice shot by Jarno Lahti. And at the same time, Ben Robinson leaves that 2-4. William Berggren, after that double, he has really put pressure on Thomas Käykö, who left that 10-pin. So as it stands, it looks a little tough for Thomas to make that top 2. But let's not count him out yet. But also Karsten Hansen, like I said, because he needs to beat Victor Gundersen by 33. This has to be a strike pretty much. And it is. He, in my opinion, he didn't shoot a strike, but he got a strike. But nevertheless, it counts as a strike. Very important. 3rd strike in a row for Karsten. Jarno Lahti, I think he was also thinking that it's going too straight and too fast, but with that light mixer, it took out the tempo. Victor Gundersen's strike was even worse than Karsten Hansen, so lucky breaks are 1-1 in that match. A much needed strike for Thomas Käykö. Rami Mukkula is cruising. He's just playing out this final game. He's guaranteed to be playing against Linus Boström after 5 o'clock when the TV finals will start. Karsten Hansen this time making a really good shot, but leaving a ringing 10. If Victor Gundersen is able to double in the 6th, only 4 frames are remaining, and Karsten needs to beat Victor in those 4 frames by 30. But Jarno Lahti struck for the 3rd time. He actually moved ahead of Ben Robinson. And Victor Gundersen also doubled.
Mä soitin aamulla, että jos on semmonen mahdollisuus, että pääset Saksanin ja saat tulos, niin tuo paita. Ja onhan täällä on paita. Vähän puhtaampi, on siinäkin toi läikkä, mutta vähän puhtaampi.
And it is a tie game between Victor Gundersen and Karsten Hansen. 4 frames to go. Both are 18 over. And so is Jarno Lahti. This one might go into the 10th frame like Group B did. Ben Robinson, and these are important shots because with that double, he moves ahead of Jarno Lahti again. Although for Ben Robinson, it really doesn't matter. Or he might take over Emmanuel Jonsson, which is 100 or 200 euros, but Victor Gundersen leaves 3-7. 3-7-9, which is impossible to spare pretty much. And Jarno Lahti, a perfect shot over there, regaining that 1 point lead. And with Victor Gundersen leaving that 3-7-9, Jarno Lahti is in a very good spot at the moment. Karsten Hansen keeping up his slim hopes. But Karsten definitely needs Ben Robinson to win Jarno Lahti.
So it's all about bonus points.
Pretty much, yeah. Karsten Hansen to have any kind of chance, he needs Ben Robinson to win Jarno Lahti. And now that he left those 6 and 10, Jarno is up by 3. And Thomas Käykö obviously is still in the fight. They are once again playing with lower pace. They have only played 6 frames and all the other ones have played more. But since Thomas has already rebounded with a triple, he's 5 over. But he trailed Jarno Lahti by 32 pins. That could be, well, if Ben Robinson wins Jarno Lahti, that's true. Karsten Hansen, double. Victor Gundersen also a strike, but Karsten is up by 25. 2 frames to go. That definitely will help Jarno Lahti if Karsten wins that match. Karsten actually can't outscore, and a really beauty strike from Jarno Lahti. He's definitely in the driver's seat at the moment. Karsten's maximum is 258. So Jarno needs to open up and Ben Robinson to win. Karsten to have any kind of chance, but with that strike he pretty much wins that match against Victor Gundersen. Well, it's 25 pins, so if Karsten opens up and Victor Gundersen strikes out, Victor can still win that match. Jarno Lahti is ahead of Ben Robinson by 13. Thomas Käykkö's maximum is 255. Barely taking out that 9 pin with the messenger. Keeping his slim chances alive. But if Jarno Lahti stays clean and wins this match, he's going to be in the top 2 for sure. Strike here would go a long way. Then the gap would be 23. Pretty much any kind of mark in the 10th would be enough for Jarno Lahti. Just perfect. Any kind of mark for Jarno Lahti and he's going to be in the top 2. Victor Gundersen, since he left at 7 pin, he's already out. And so is Karsten Hansen. So the only chance is Thomas Käykö strikes out and wins 255. And Jarno Lahti opens up and loses this match. But after Ben Robinson left at 356, Jarno Lahti is guaranteed to be in 2nd place. So we have all Finnish player final ahead of us starting at 5 p.m. Now we know that it's going to be Rami Mukkula facing Linus Boström and Santtu Tahvanainen facing Jarno Lahti. We just play out these remaining shots, but it's 100% sure that's what's going to happen. Just for the show, even though he was celebrating a lot, but like I said, he was already guaranteed that he was in the top 2. But that's a nice way to finish it off. We're just going to play these final shots off, then show you the official final results, then take a break. And just a reminder, those top 4 TV finals will be sent on Yle Areena. And Rauli, the link was there on the website, right?
It is on the ballmaster.fi website.
So you can find it there.
Yeah, and also if you go arena.yle.fi, it is on the live, and there is a Keilailu Ballmaster Open.
So you can find it there. But there's a link on the tournament website, and it starts 5 p.m. sharp with 5-minute practice. So the first semi-final will start 5:05. Please do remember to check in early enough. I don't know if the broadcast starts at 5 or 4:55 or whatever, but be sure to be there.
The right time for the Yle Areena is
5:10.
5:10. Yeah.
Yes.
And after that, 300 game is announced on this YouTube channel.
Yeah, same channel.
Yeah.
And as it stands, there will be 5 players challenging for that 300 extra. Not like last year when there were 19 players. Most likely this year's extra is going to take less than 40 minutes.
Something like that.
But any case, we'll be streaming to you
Mennään
live.
sen verran vielä tässä näin, että käydään nyt suomeksi vielä tää läpi. Eli mitä tässä on sitten käynyt round robinin aikana. Niin
Ja niin kuin nähdään, tuli pitkästä aikaa. En kyllä muista milloin viimeksi olisi ollut 4 suomalaista.
kyllä, se on harvinaista. Se on
ollut
superharvinaista.
On. Ei ole, siis en muista todellakaan milloin olisi ollut näin. Ja niinhän siinä kävi, että A-lohkon voitti Rami Mukkula, joka tulee pelaamaan B-lohkon 2 vastaan Linus Boströmiä välierissä. Ja A-lohkon 2 Jarno Lahti, puolustava mestari, mikä olisi muuten aika huikeeta voittaa 2 peräkkäin, koska vain Simo Vähäkorpela, ja onko Koivuniemi, voittiko 2 peräkkäin?
Siinä on Santulle, se tarkoittaisi niin sanotusti lisää merittejä.
Niin Jarnolle.
Myöskin.
Niin Jarnolle olisi se tuplamestaruus peräkkäin.
Joo, mutta siis
Jarno pelaa
kaikille tämä on iso systeemi.
Totta kai.
Mutta yhdellä on mahdollisuus tehdä tuplat, erilaiset tuplat. Rami Mukkula.
Niin, se just nimenomaan kun mainittiin, hänhän voitti 24. syyskuussa täällä jo International Hammer Challengein loppuottelussa, voitti tulevan TV-lähetyksen kommentaattori Jouni Helmisen.
Ja näin on saatu
nyt jos voittaisi vielä tässä,
ryhmät
niin kyllä mä sanoin, että sekin on aika kova saavutus painaa Hammeri ja Ballmasteri 2 vuoden sisään molemmista pokaalikotiin.
Niin kärjessä 3-7.
Mutta tehdäänkö me nyt silleen, hommat on selvät. Suomalaiskatsojat ainakin laittaa Yle Areenan päälle tai sitten säästää jännityksen siihen ihan Yle 2 varsinaiseen lähetykseen, joka starttaa kello 19. Mutta teette mitä teette, ainakin saatte nähtyä tämän. Me mennään nyt Raulin kanssa vielä vähän tuonne valmistautumaan noihin tuleviin peleihin. Kiitoksia jo tästä, kun olette ollut mukana katsomassa, ja miksei nyt tietysti näin hienoa keilaviihdettä olisikin kattonut, mutta ei enempiä höpinöitä. 5 jatketaan, kun välierät alkaa.
Joo, ja Areenan puolella.